This is a question for all the panelists here. Why now? Why is influencer marketing such a big category now?
My answer to your question is, me personally, I've been in marketing for over 20 years. I come from the media side. And the media side has seen something that's happening. There's a shift in media dollars away from traditional media and into influencer marketing. I'm not saying that traditional media, ad spins, banner ads, stuff like that, paid search, performance marketing is going to go away. It's not. We're just getting a more leveled media mix. People are realizing the value of using a performance ad, of using, retargeting, of using CRM, and then also backing that up with the relationship and the impact that you can have with the influencer marketing. So from my perspective, what you're seeing isn't so much as influencer marketing, the ad spend and the money going to it growing. It's the industry maturing, and it's the industry balancing out, and it's more channels opening up. And as it matures, companies are starting to leverage that and see the possibilities.
I mean, I think like everything in today's world is being moved into the digital space. I think that's just like all our lives are in the palm of our hands. So naturally, outside of traditional ads, people want to find things that are relatable, and they want their friends to be recommending things to them. And those friends, people find that connective tissue to these influencers and these talents. And obviously, for brands, it's finding people who align with who you are, and that can then portray your brands in a way that feels authentic and kind of validates to their audiences that that's something they use in their daily lives. I mean, I'm so guilty of it too, like following people, seeing something they post and being like, I need to buy that right now.
I mean, I think it just makes more sense in general. I have a friend who told me years ago, you have to evolve or dissolve, and people don't listen to the radio as often as they used to. They don't watch television as often as they used to. So if you're dumping like all of your ad money into those two channels, you're missing a huge market where, again, I don't wake up and turn on the TV, but I wake up, I get on Instagram, I get on Twitter, I look at Facebook. So it's just a way to really get your point across. Also, when you do things with like, let's say integrations with YouTube videos, your ad lives forever. Like if you have a commercial or a radio ad, it's like, you get your 30 seconds for X amount of time and then it's gone. So they're just kind of, wisening up and figuring out another way to do things.
Made in Network, we make shows. We finance them, we produce them, we publish them. YouTube is our core engine. Everybody here listen to or watch BuzzFeed, Vice. I was at Vice for years. Everybody, the publishers and they fell in love with their own food brands, but it was abundantly clear that personalities were the driver, and I'm going to say food now, but you talk about film reviews and all that kind of stuff, but people gravitated towards it, and can you build global media brands around characters? That's the premise, that's what's happening. They trust them, everything you guys said previously, that believe it all, but I think it's about they have the goods now.
Right.
They have it at scale, and they have the marketing sophistication to run pre-roll and integrate and do cross-channel promotion and create custom codes and deliver and tag them and do all this stuff that every single major media brand can do. And that's why, hey, why not work with us?
So, Meyhem, can you share a little bit about your background, rising through sort of like the social media growth as an artist and transitioning into sort of like the food and beverage world?
Yeah, honestly, all of this was just a beautiful accident. I just wanted to be a musician. I made music, and one of my best friends and frequent collaborator, Action Bronson, at the time he was signed to Vice, and that's when Viceland Cable Television Network started. So he asked me if I wanted to be a guest on the show. And I was kind of like, oh yeah, I could get some money to eat a sandwich in the background. That's amazing. And then next thing you know, it just evolved, and I became a full-time cast member. We shot 4 seasons, traveled the world, and then after that, it just kind of opened a lot of doors within the food world. Just restaurant collabs, pop-ups, things of that nature. Then I met Ryan. We have 2 cooking series on my YouTube channel. One is called Fridge Diving, where I find some things in the fridge, I turn nothing into something, but it's not really nothing because anything in my fridge is amazing anyway. But we kind of revamp it. And then the other show is called Flavor in Your Ear, where we cook things based off song lyrics. Like example, like Biggie, a T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape, or, you know, anything from any genre of music. We kind of take a line and turn it into a meal, and now I'm here on a panel talking to all of you, so the ride continues. It's not really about what you think or when you think it, it's about when the world thinks it, and once you start getting booked for things and having more and more opportunities and people care about your opinion, then it's like, okay, I'm here. You know, like, that's why I said I wasn't being funny saying it's a beautiful accident. It's what you do with that accident when you're there. You know, you have to maintain it, control it, and help grow.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to move over to Ryan. You work with many different types of influencers, right? So Meyhem, and you work with, you know, with Janelle. How do you spot this talent? How do you create the brand around the creator? Can you share a little bit about that process?
I think a big thing is, and I was like trying to figure out some nuggets to throw out there, but there's this premise that the second rat gets the cheese, right? Every single thing, I don't want to say every single thing, the majority of hits that we have made have been demonstrated across the internet for years. And it's the ability to take them, understand them, package them, make them ownable. Hip-hop lyrics that reference food has been covered for 15 years. He did it different, right? Made it ownable, put a rapping on it. So there's a difference between like pure origination and then the kind of like iteration of it all that I think is essential. And so when you look at a creator, are all those things possible?
The second theme, we're going to talk a little bit on the brand side, right? So Kate, I want to bring you into the discussion here. So Thomas Ashbourne, you guys work with a number of celebrities,
Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker, Neil Patrick Harris. Talk to us how you, as a CMO of Thomas Ashbourne, how do you develop these partnerships? What's the thought process? How do you actually approach these celebrities? And what's been the result so far? You've been on the job recently, and tell us a little bit about that.
For us, it's finding partners who are passionate about craft cocktails. We believe that authenticity creates credibility, which then, you know, leads to them drinking and enjoying it in their daily life. So obviously there was a couple of launch SKUs for us, the Cosmo, Sarah Jessica Parker, two synonymous things, Sex and the City, I'm sure many of us are familiar. And she is a businesswoman. Outside of being a phenomenal actress, she has a wine company, she has a book imprint, she is a passionate partner. And for us, we're not just throwing money at our partners, they're actual partners in our company. They own part of their cocktails, we don't just pay them to market it, which I think allows us to then create more partnerships that are more meaningful. So like for Neil, we started talking to Neil because he wanted to get involved. He's loves craft cocktails, and he also loves caffeine, what we've learned. So we went out on a night on the town, and Neil, we went bar hopping, and Neil loves espresso martinis that I'm sure many of us also really enjoy. So we kind of went around and picked our favorite things from each bar, and you know, we love the notes of chocolate in this one and the notes of vanilla in this one, and they do this really well. And we take the time to develop these cocktails with our partners to create a product that they feel good about and that we feel really good about. So for us, it's about finding partners who are as passionate about our product as we are.